Louisiana has lost yet another important political figure. Moon Landrieu, the former mayor of New Orleans, died Monday. He was 92 years old. Landrieu is remembered for desegregating both public and government facilities in the city. He's also credited with building up New Orleans as a tourist attraction. LPB takes a look back through its archives. 1970 New Orleans, like much of the country, was dealing with political and racial unrest. It was the city trying its best to recover and function in a post-Jim Crow society.
Will ensure them the right to vote.
A society where African Americans could vote. They could sit where they wanted on a bus, in a restaurant, in a store. It was a big change, and the city was working overtime to reconcile a not-so-distant legacy of segregation.
And now you'll have wholesale integration in the parish of Orleans in the entire state of Louisiana. It's up to the state to provide a freedom of choice and association for each and every child of this state.
But that April, whispers of change turned to screams, turned to votes. New Orleans voted in Moon Landrieu, who promised an overhaul of the status quo.
I knew that this city could not survive with 40% of its population underemployed, not taking a position of responsibility in the government, not having any sense that they belonged, that those days were gone forever. And I wanted to integrate the city of New Orleans in every way possible.
Landrieu's political reputation was molded in the 60s when he was a state representative. The country was deep in political turmoil as the conversation around desegregation was growing. At the Capitol, Landrieu stood in a small pro-integration minority that tried to keep the Jimmy Davis administration from passing segregationist measures. He voted against every anti-integration bill, turning critical attention his way, not all of it good.
I didn't realize it, but I was standing immediately behind Judge Perez and Senator Raynack. And somehow Senator Raynack must have turned and saw me. And when he did, he took a step toward me because we were almost chest to back to start with. And he put his hand in my face and he said, "I know you and we're going to get you."
He left the legislature and turned his attention back to his hometown, New Orleans. He joined the city council where he forged interracial connections with policy and agendas that would increase black presence in social and political New Orleans. By the time he was voted into the mayor's office, he'd gained a large percentage of the black electorate and a moderate number of white voters. He desegregated bars. He created an answer desk so black residents could give formal complaints about barriers they were facing. He also hired black administrators.
Some of these kids went on to become very successful businessmen, very successful politicians. They were great. They were enthusiastic, committed, excited about what we were doing. It was a great period to be serving.
Of course, this is only part of Landrieu's legacy. He worked to promote New Orleans' tourist industry. He made the Superdome the tourist attraction it is today, and he headed renovations in the French Market and Jackson Square.
The Dome Stadium hit New Orleans when it was kind of looking like things weren't going to get any better. And because we put the Dome Stadium downtown, it was an enormous investment in this city's future.
When his tenure in New Orleans came to an end, Landrieu worked as the Secretary of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. After that, he served as a judge for the Louisiana Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. He ended his career in 2000. He retired, leaving behind a legacy of change and progress. Landrieu's influence is all over the city of New Orleans, the state, and really the country. He paved the way for politicians like Dutch Morial and, of course, Mitch and Mary Landrieu.